Hey guys, welcome back. It's Josh with the Financial Advisor Car Guy. So this week I wanted to talk a little bit about making millions. They say that the average millionaire has between 3 and 5 sources of income. Now that seems crazy. How can anybody work 3 to 5 jobs? Well, they don't. I would say that the vast majority of people who make millions of dollars have people doing those jobs for them, right? They're just reaping the reward of maybe a really good business investment, or maybe it's a really good stock portfolio and they've got managers doing that. Maybe it's part of their day job, depending on what they do for a living. So I would say that, looking at a person who maybe has 3 sources of income versus a person who has 5 or 6 or 7, the first source is going to be their regular day job. The second source, generally speaking, is going to be an investment portfolio. Once you've got the means to start investing, it's really important that you get those dollars working for you. And I would say that that is exceptionally important today in the market that we're living in. There are some serious great opportunities in the market. And while I don't think it's done falling, it's down over 20%. So all that to say, any stock that you buy right now is likely 20 to 25 to 30% lower than it was maybe January 1st. So that's an opportunity. Now, the second source, again, being investment income after primary job, primary income. You might have a spouse's salary, could be number 3. The other number 3 might be some sort of business venture that you own or have part ownership in, or something like that, where it's maybe passive income. Another one could be real estate. Maybe you own a rental property and maybe it's paid for, but maybe it's not. If it's paid for, then 100% of your monthly rent goes right into your pocket. And then at the end of the year, obviously you're probably depreciating the house. You've got your tax deductions based on depending on repairs and maintenance and those kind of things. And then you've got property taxes and insurance that are going to come out of that. But for the most part, you're making some serious coin if you own that house outright and you're renting it out. Even if you have a mortgage, you can basically profit, right? For example, let's say I have a rental house. Let's say my renters, for round number's sake, pay $1,000 a month rent. My mortgage is $600 and my property taxes and insurance are another $100 a month. So let's call it $700. Now I'm making $300 a month, not doing anything. So there you go. There's another opportunity for you. So the point of all this is just to say the average millionaire has 3 to 5 different sources of income, not one. Very, very, very few people ever make their wealth working a day job. And I don't say that to be discouraging to anybody. It's okay. You can have just a day job and it's not a big deal. But my point is, statistically speaking, you need the other things, right? You need passive investments. You need maybe some hands-on stock investments. Maybe you have what's called a side hustle, right? Side hustle is kind of a catchphrase right now. It's kind of a trending thing. But side hustles are anything you can do to make money outside of the norm, right? So maybe it's detailing cars on the weekend, or maybe it's, maybe you're a bartender. Maybe during the week you work a desk job or whatever it is. And then on the weekends you drive for Uber or Uber Eats or DoorDash or Lyft or any of those. Any sort of side gig to earn some extra cash is what I would call a side hustle. And, the truth is that's an excellent way to make extra money. Again, in today's economy, maybe you're going to start seeing people pull back on their spending, but I would think that things like Uber, not going away. It's so much more competitive than any sort of taxi service. And so there's a need and a demand for that, especially in a busier metropolitan area. Other side hustles, things like, I don't know. Like I said, landscaping is a good one, right? You can mow lawns. You can have your kids mow lawns. That's a great kid's job. Getting them kind of in the habit of maybe repeat business, maybe building relationships with neighbors, those kind of things. I know when I was a kid, I ran around my neighborhood with a lawnmower and charged, $6 a lawn or so. I don't know what it was back then, but anymore, $10 or $20 probably is what the going rate would be for depending on the size lawn you've got. I mean, I don't know. that's a great one. Again, I'd say if you're of age to drive, Uber, Lyft, Uber Eats, DoorDash, any of those is fantastic. One that I've been considering a whole bunch as of late is the whole Turo thing. You take your car and you rent it out, and when someone's using it, they pay you rent. It's kind of, instead of the alternative of like a Hertz or any of those types of car rental agencies. You rent a personal car, you borrow a personal car from somebody. I may have said this on a prior episode, but we're doing that here later this month. We're taking a trip, and I went to, I think it was like Enterprise, Alamo, and Thrifty rental cars or something like that. I went to 2 or 3 different ones and price checked and saw what it was going to cost me. And for literally less than half the money, I can rent a 5 Series BMW that is like new. All the bells and whistles. I'm familiar with it because we had one, and it's like $60 a day instead of, 100 and something per day after taxes and fees and everything that, Hertz was going to charge me, or whatever company was the cheapest. So the Turo thing I think is awesome. We've talked about putting our Mach-E, our brand new car, on there because there's so many people that want to just drive an electric car. They've never done it. They've never had that experience. They might be willing to pay $100 for a 24-hour rental of just driving that car. Cool thing is there's no maintenance on it outside of, brake pads and tires. They don't even have to charge it. They just return it and I can charge it. You know what I mean? It's not the same as a internal combustion engine vehicle where, there's wear and tear and there's things that are going to break, and then they have to fill it with fuel before they return it and do all those things. So kind of looking forward to that, but that's something we've considered doing. We haven't pulled the trigger yet, but it's something we've thought about. And, we have enough cars that we could be without one or 2 days at a time, should somebody rent something from us. So, there's a side hustle. There's maybe my side hustle. I don't know yet, but for me, it's been flipping things, right? Buying cars, building them, flipping them, making some money, and then rolling the profits into the next vehicle. And I've done that literally dozens of times and had a ball doing it. I enjoy it first and foremost. And I think that's where people get wrapped up in these side hustles, where, they think they like it. And then all of a sudden they realize it's so much work. It's taken the joy out of it because they're trying to make money at it. Whereas maybe at one point it was a hobby. What else? There's ones that you can recruit other people to do with you, right? So 4 or 5 years ago, I had a friend of mine who was doing isogenics. And, I wanted to lose a little bit of weight. My wife and I had talked about it, and we thought, let's try it. We'll do it. We joined isogenics under her membership. And, I never really made money at it. I wasn't like selling the product. I joined for my own personal use, but it was one of her side hustles, and she made money on my wife and I. She made money on her team, anybody that we recruited underneath us, which I think we had 2 at one point, and neither of them are still doing it. But, we got a little bit of a residual trailer money on those folks, but for the most part, it was just helping out upstream, right? So like the person who enrolled us and then the person who enrolled them, and so on and so forth. And, some people do better than others at those kind of jobs. But again, generally they're not a primary source of income. They're a side hustle. You generally will have your day job, whatever that is. And so anyway, long and short of it is side hustles, 3 to 5 jobs. If you want to make $1 million, statistically speaking, get a really high paying individual job if that's the only thing you want to do. But, don't be afraid of a side hustle. Don't shy away from an opportunity to make some money if you can. Again, even if it's mowing lawns or whatever, shoveling snow, that's a huge one. So we get snow here in Central Oregon, and I can't tell you how many times I see on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace people that are, willing to shovel snow or bring their snowblower or Bobcat or, whatever it is over to anybody's home, and for $50 they'll clean the driveway or whatever. And anymore, my back hurts. I'll be honest with you guys, right? I have a really long driveway, and it's like 3 car lengths long, so it's 40 feet or 50 feet or whatever it is, and more than 2 cars wide. So I'm exhausted, a quarter or halfway through that thing. I have shoveled the entire driveway several times, but at the same time, by the time I'm done, I have to start again, et cetera, et cetera. And so, not too long ago, there would have been a really good opportunity for me to pay someone $40 or $50 just to come and do it. And I'd gladly do it, right? Because it saves my back, it saves my time. I don't have to worry about it. It's just done for me. And it's great. Those are the kind of things that are seasonal side hustles that, I will encourage my kids. We have a snowblower now. We bought one a couple years back, but you know what? If they can learn to use it and they want to hit up the neighbors for $10 or $20 or whatever to clear the driveways, sure, by all means, you know what? Have at it. Go make a buck. The machine wasn't cheap, and it's a one-time investment that I made. So to them, they're out nothing, right? Other than their time. And so side hustles are a really great way to enhance what you're already doing as far as income goes. Maybe those dollars are then earmarked to take a trip or buy a toy, or maybe that's your retirement money, right? Maybe your day job is just living paycheck to paycheck and you're working to live, living to work. But then your side hustle is something that you're passionate about, that you enjoy. And even if you're not making top dollar, let's say it's a few $100s or a couple $1,000s a month or whatever it is. Maybe that's your savings money, or maybe that's your future money or your investing money. And now all of a sudden you parlay those dollars into the next revenue stream. You save $500 a month into an investment account, and before too long, you've got a pretty sizable investment account that will be growing and generating dividend income to you and whatnot. And so, there's ideas like that. I talk to my clients about things like that all the time. I'm happy to share that with any of you guys. I have actually had a couple of you guys that watch the channel reach out to me and want to sit down and meet. And I think that's fantastic. Thank you. That's what this is all about. It's not to grow my clientele, but it's to share the knowledge and the information that I have and that I get and I learn, and it's stuff that fascinates me. And if I can better your financial situation by sharing some of that, that is what I'm here for. And on top of that, we talk cars and things like that. That's fun. That's fantastic. Again, that's kind of my side hustle, if you will. But that's my hobby, right? And I love all the aspects of cars, and buying, building, and selling are three very different things. There's people that are really good at negotiations, so they want to be the buyer. There's people that are really mechanically inclined. They want to be the builder. And then there's people that are maybe more business savvy who can sell something really well, right? I don't know that I'm great at any one of those three things, but I like them all. So I don't shy away. I don't fear any of that stuff. I want to negotiate down and get the very best price I can when I buy something. I want to do as much work as I can on my own so that I can keep my overhead down, costs down, to maximize profit when I do go to sell it. And I enjoy writing out a long ad. And I really, I hate tire kickers, but at the same time, I really enjoy talking about the vehicle or whatever it is to the prospective buyer. And so to me, I love all aspects of it. I don't shy away from any of it. And so, I'm selling a car for a neighbor of mine right now. And actually, I won't even get into that right now. I'd like to do a whole episode about that car at some point. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment down below if you have any questions. Always feel free to email me. But most importantly, remember, may every investment you make be a good one. Till next time.